Hi there, this is Beth Turner here on the Huddle. Today I'm with Charles Mizzi, the CEO of the Malta Gaming Authority. Charles, how are you doing today?
Fine, thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here with you today.
Awesome. So you're 1 year in now as the CEO of the NGA, a full year in. Can you tell me in one word how you would describe that first year?
I would say the first year was an eventful year, to say the least. It was a very nice year, to say, very challenging. I learned a lot during this year. It's a new experience for me in the gaming industry, but I enjoyed it a lot and I like the challenge that it provides.
And what would you say is the biggest challenge that you faced in 2024?
Obviously, the first challenge was to understand the gaming industry. I came from a different industry, different background. Obviously, having sort of the opportunity, the opportunity I had in the past to manage a public entity helped when it comes to the management and dealing with the legislations, with the policies, public policies, etc. But when it comes to gaming, it was a completely different world to me. So I would say that was the biggest challenge that I faced. I had to learn everything from scratch. I understand how the industry works, what are the challenges, what are the opportunities that are available to us. But thankfully, I have a very good team of people around me, so that helps a lot because it facilitates matter.
And in your role as the CEO of the MGA, were there any parts that you found maybe more challenging or maybe less challenging than you were expecting?
I think when it comes to sort of what is more challenging is the fact that the industry is very dynamic. Things change from day to day. So new challenges come up. So you have to keep abreast with those challenging. As I said, the industry is very dynamic, very competitive. New regulations are coming out in the market every day. So that is quite challenging. When it comes to sort of what I found possibly more easy is sort of the fact of dealing with public administration things. As I said, sort of I had past experience, although it's still sort of a bit challenging to navigate, but that was a bit more easy for me.
And what do you hope to achieve in year 2 in your role that you couldn't achieve or weren't able to achieve in year 1?
For year 2, we have quite an interesting program ahead, let's say. So we have some good goals to look forward to and to work towards. One of them being to become even more efficient and enhance the communication process with our operators. These events, such as ICE, give us the opportunity to engage with industry players and to hear their views, their feedback on the matter. And this is one thing that really comes out of these meetings every year, I would say, and every meeting that we have. The need to be responsive to the industry, to have an open line of communication with them, to be transparent with them. At the same time, obviously, we know that we are the regulator. We need to strike the right balance between being the regulator, enforcing the regulations, and obviously keep an open line of communication with them to understand their pain points and possibly help them navigate through this process and sustain, because at the end of the day we work towards a sustainable gaming industry.
So you have several memorandums of understanding with some other authorities in the UK and Ontario. How important is it to build and maintain those relationships with other authorities around the world?
I think it's very important. As you said, we work closely with a number of regulators. We're also part of the GREF committee, and this, first of all, it helps us to understand what's happening around us, to see where sort of we can learn new things and possibly improve our own processes. Obviously, we have agreements to share information with other regulators and retain an open approach with them. And this helps us I would say on a day-to-day basis. We have regular meetings with them, and this helps a lot in our day-to-day work.
And what would you say in 2024 was the biggest lesson you learned from another authority?
Per se, I don't really have sort of one thing in particular, but I think what I noticed is that possibly there need to be more harmonization in the way we approach things, in the way we do things, because I've noticed that obviously everyone has his own framework, his own policies and procedures, and sometimes these things affect industry players. Today we know that a lot of players have licenses from different jurisdictions. They need to abide by their compliance rules, by their regulations. They need to submit yearly returns or possibly even more, and this is quite a pain point because they need obviously to adapt to the different policies of the different jurisdictions. So if there could possibly be more collaboration between entities, this could help to facilitate the process, and at the end of the day reduce compliance costs because that is what really boils down to at the end of the day.
Brilliant. So changing gears slightly, you recently put out some statistics about the Malta gaming market, and one of those stats showed that from 2021 you've been giving out less licenses, but there are more staff under these license brands. So what does that mean for you, in your opinion, on what the gaming market in Malta is looking like and what the future looks like?
Obviously, the industry is maturing. It's about consolidation, it's about quality. It's just not about numbers. Obviously, the big players are still here, the numbers are still big. During the past year, we've seen some consolidation of operations and even in terms of numbers. What's interesting to notice is that these big operators consider Malta as the place of establishment. They are here, they will remain here, and they keep on investing and growing organically. They are sort of increasing their base, investing in the people, recruiting more people, and this is also something we're working on. We're working very hard in order to ensure that the economy is sustainable. The gaming industry is very important to Malta. We have a big responsibility, and we have to make sure that the big players remain on the island.
Fabulous. So I've just got two more for you just to kind of round out today, and I really do appreciate your time today, Charles. But what do you think is going to be the biggest challenges to affect the Malta market looking into 2025?
In terms of challenges, I would say sort of obviously the competitive environment around us. As I mentioned earlier, a number of countries are regulating. The scenario is changing. So we need to make sure that we retain our competitive edge, if you can sort of call it that. We need to make sure that people still consider Malta as their home, as the home of the gaming industry. That they remain here, that they have the facilities around them, the ecosystem around them, to remain in Malta, feel comfortable working from here, continue investing and continue growing in the years to come.
Fabulous. And just to round things out, what do you personally hope to achieve as the CEO of the MGA in 2025?
Good question. I hope obviously that the industry keeps growing. We are obviously fully aware that it's a challenging environment. We want to retain the quality players that we have in Malta. We want to have a good ecosystem, a strong ecosystem, a robust framework to help us achieve those goals. And at the end of the day, to find the right balance between being the regulator and at the same time sustain the industry, the gaming industry, which, as I mentioned earlier, is very, very important for the island.
Thank you so much for your time today, Charles. I really do appreciate it. And for everyone watching the Huddle today, thank you for watching.